Hey guys, we're going to be making fudge today and peanut brittle. So we're going to start off with the fudge recipe first. So I've already done step one where I lined my 8" by 8" square pan with foil, and then you spray it with some cooking spray. Then since you already have the cooking spray out, you're also going to need a wooden spoon to stir, and you need to spray it with cooking spray so the candy doesn't stick to it. Okay. I've also went ahead and got a stick of butter and cut it into smaller pieces, and we're going to put that in a bowl. Okay, it's going to be in the smaller bowl, and in the larger bowl, we're going to get that out. We are going to need to open up the 5-ounce can of evaporated milk. Okay. Okay, in the large bowl, we're going to put the chocolate chips, marshmallow cream, and vanilla. So we're going to need 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And again, remember with vanilla, it pours out quickly, so you're going to need to pour it carefully and slowly. Okay, so you're going to need a 7-ounce jar of marshmallow cream. You're going to use the whole thing. That's the easiest way to open it, guys. So this is really sticky. You're going to need a spatula to scrape it all out. Try to get out as much as possible. I know it's super sticky, but try to scrape out as much as you can, because when making candy, you're going to need a lot of sugar, and this is straight up sugar. Okay, so that's pretty good. And then you're going to use 1 whole 12-ounce, or in this case it's a 10-ounce bag of semi-sweet chocolate chips. So you're going to mix all of this together. Okay. So just combine it as much as you can. Keep in mind it's going to melt once you put the hot liquid into it, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Next thing we're going to do is pour the evaporated milk and then add the sugar into the saucepan. Okay, so this is the saucepan. I already have it here. I also have my candy thermometer. So it's in a shatter-proof casing. The glass is on the inside. You want to make sure that it can measure a high enough temperature, and this candy thermometer does. Here you have a wooden ball because it doesn't transfer heat the way metal does, so you want to be careful when handling the thermometer. Do not touch the metal part because it's going to be hot. This can move up and down. There's also a space right here, so you'll be able to read the temperature, so make sure the thermometer falls in between. You also want to make sure when attaching this to, or clipping it to the side of the pan, that it is not touching the bottom of the pan, because if you do that, then it's going to be measuring the temperature of the pan and not the candy itself. Okay, so make sure that you give enough space for it to do that. Okay. And so here you can see it doesn't touch the bottom of the pan. So let's go ahead and pour our evaporated milk in. You are going to have to make sure that you stir it because milk does scorch onto the pan, which means it's basically burning to the pan. So you want to make sure you stir it. So it says we're going to put that and the sugar together. So we need 2.5 cups of sugar. Okay. So I have 1/2 right here, so I'm going to do this 5 times. That's a lot of sugar, so I'm going to get some more to add to it. This here for now, because we're going to need that for the peanut brittle a little bit later. Okay, so in the instructions, it does say that it needs to reach a full rolling boil, so that means it's going to have big bubbles, not little tiny ones. What's going to end up happening is that the sugar is going to start crystallizing, because remember, this is a crystalline candy. As it gets hotter, you'll see it'll look different. Okay, you won't see the sugar. Okay, so the temperature we're looking for is 234 degrees. It takes about 5 minutes to reach that temperature. So I'm going to go ahead and let it reach to that temperature, and then we'll get started again. Okay guys, you can see here how there are really, really big bubbles. Okay, and on the thermometer, we're looking for it to say 234 degrees. And on a candy thermometer, what that's going to read as is soft ball. Okay, it's because fudge is a softer candy. Okay. Okay, and it's almost to that temperature. I am stirring it constantly so it doesn't burn onto the bottom of the pan. Okay, and you have to be really patient with reading the temperature because if you take it out too soon, it's not going to set properly. Okay. As soon as it hits 234 degrees, we're going to take it off of the heat And then we're going to add an interfering agent, which in this case is going to be butter. Okay. It's almost to the temperature. Okay, a little bit more. Okay, it's reached that temperature, so we're going to go ahead and add our interfering agent, which is our butter. And you're going to stir it until it's completely melted. Okay. Okay. You can go ahead and take off the thermometer also, so you can stir it properly without dropping the thermometer. Make sure not to put the thermometer in cold water because then it may shatter. Yes, it's in a shatterproof casing, but it can only take so much of a temperature difference. So just set it aside and let it cool. Okay. Okay, so this mixture is now going to go into our marshmallow cream, vanilla, and chocolate mixture. Okay. 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 Usually what I do is I put this spatula in here so it can melt off the cream. Okay. Be super careful when you're stirring because it still is hard to stir because of how sticky the marshmallow cream is. And I don't want you stirring too fast and then it spills on you because, as we talked about before, it can burn you pretty bad. And it's sticky, so when it lands on you and then you try to wipe it off, it can be very dangerous. Okay, so stir carefully at the beginning. Okay, until it starts to thicken up, then you can stir faster. Okay. Go ahead and stir butter until it smells in. Stir ingredients together. Okay. So it talks about stirring until it loses its glossiness. So glossy means it's going to look a little shiny, right? It's going to have a shiny finish, but we want it to have more of a matte finish where there is no shine. Okay. Girls, you all probably know the difference between glossy and matte because makeup is described that way. Or if you've ever gotten pictures taken and you get glossy print or matte print, you can tell a big difference. Okay. So as it thickens and cools, it gets much harder to stir. So having a partner to help you out comes in handy. Keep in mind the mixture is hot still, so make sure you hold the bowl from the top and not the sides because it's going to be hot. In the instructions, I say to use a glass bowl because it doesn't transfer heat as much as metal does, but I don't have glass bowls, so that's why I'm using metal. Okay. Okay, so you can see here it is still a little bit glossy, so it's going to take me a little while to stir. But once I put it in the pan, I'll let you see what it looks like, and then we'll start on the next recipe. Okay guys, so I went ahead and kept stirring until it was more of a matte finish instead of glossy, and I went ahead and poured it in here. A quicker way to let it cool is to leave it in the refrigerator for 10 to 15 minutes, or even overnight would be better. Okay, yeah, you would cut it into pieces and then you can serve it to family and friends. Okay, thanks guys.